Hello. Hi everybody. Good evening. This is Dr. Manas Pratim Goswami, Associate Professor and Head, Department of Media and Communication, Central University of Tamil Nadu. Today I am going to talk about tattoo as a means of communication, a semiotic analysis of Bega tattoo. And before I start, I would like to thank Professor Govindji Pandey, Babao, or Mrs. Meena Pandey, Madam, for giving me an opportunity to talk in front of some learned audience, and I think there must be some student also who may be liking, because the topic is such that I am going to talk something about tattoo. First of all, I think many of the students who are there must be having a lot of tattoos on their body, or maybe one or two they may be having, and they spend a good amount of money on making that tattoo, isn't it? Now the question is, have you ever realized tattoo is one of the oldest art of human being? It is the art of body decoration, right? That means this art has been there for a long time. It's not like it evolved recently, but we got to know, probably the youngsters got to know about tattoo probably when the famous film of Amir Khan called Ghazni, it became very popular during. You people remember that Ghazni, the character, was having a lot of tattoos in his body, right? But if you talk about the word tattoo, it is basically not an English word. It's a loan word taken from different language. Some people say this is derived from a Polynesian word called ta, which means striking something, and some people say this is a Tahitian word. The word is tatao, and which means to mark something. It is whatever the origin may be, but it is one of the fantastic art the human being have been a long time. This is one of the oldest art of human being, but it's art of body modification, and there are certain tribes in India, in fact across the world, they have been carrying this particular art for a long time. Today I'll be talking about one of the tribe which is very popular in central India. Although they are nowadays, the number of that people of that tribe is gradually decreasing. In fact, if you talk about what is actually tattoo, it's basically art of inserting indelible ink into the dermis layer. Dermis layer to change the pigment. That means they put it inside the skin so that it will create some design, and that will be permanent. This will be permanent. And if you talk about how old it is, I have already told you this is one of the old. How old it is? It is one of the oldest art. I'll give you one mummy that was found in Alps, 1991 September, and that mummy, that's a natural mummy because it was on basically ice. That mummy was having around 51 different tattoos, and when it was studied how old is the tattoo, it was found it is of 3300 BCE. 3300 BCE, that means before Christ. So that means tattoo is one of the oldest art of civilization. It's been around more than 5,300 years old tattoo, right? And anthropological study, if you go by anthropological study, you will find that tattoo is there in the world for a long time, and most importantly, it did not originate in one place. I'll give an example. You must have heard Maori tribe. It's basically from New Zealand. That tribe is very famous for their indigenous tattoos. They have got their own design of tattoo, and they carry that tattoo when from the beginning itself, from childhood itself, and they depict something about themselves through that tattoo. And anthropological studies says that it was originated in different places, so designs are different, culture is different, tradition is different, And again, the kind of material that is being used is also different. But most of these tattoos are basically permanent. It's very difficult to remove it, and they basically use some indelible ink from the nature itself, and they put it inside the pigment so that it will never change. It will remain there for a long time. But why they make tattoos? That's a big question. Why they make tattoos? There's several reasons behind this. Some people say that they want to make some, make their body beautiful. Some people say that this is because of the talisman. Maybe some religious thought. Maybe some social thought is there. Some social identity is also there. And I mean, in fact, they depict that they belong to that particular tribe. That's why also they do it. Now, modern days, if you see, it's not all about tribe. It's all about the young people living in metros, living in cities, also making some tattoos. And in fact, they are spending huge amount of money on tattoos. They are spending money. In fact, in Delhi, I think there are a lot of tattoo parlors. There must be in Lucknow also. There are a lot of tattoo parlors, and they are spending good amount of money to get a small tattoo itself. But do you know, the tattoos are made in the tribes, among the tribes, where one person who makes this tattoo gets a small amount of money, but still this tradition is there. And this basically identity of getting something, achievement. For example, the policeman or maybe the army man, they get some medal. That way also in a society, when somebody does something good in a particular tribe, they generally get this kind of tattoos that is given as a mark of respect. This is made by that society on the body of that person, so that he understands his value. Okay, fine. In society also he gets recognition. That's why also tattoos are being made. That way, tattoo. Some people say this is because they make tattoos as a social status. Some people call it like they get some rank, social rank, or maybe army rank, and sometimes they do it to reflect a particular ethnicity, and sometimes they get it for a bravery work they do. And there are certain examples are there. I'll talk about that when I'll talk about beggar tribes. They use tattoos for sexual lures also. That is basically draw the attention of the young boys. Sometimes it is like an amulet. Sometimes it's like a you can say a sort of jewelry. And sometimes they believe that the tattoo also make them protected from certain diseases, and sometimes some natural object which may harm them when they go to tribal areas. Today I'll be talking about one very famous tribe of central India, but before I talk about that particular tribe, I would like to just give an example where are these tattoos found. There are examples that tattoos are found in China. In fact, I think there are a lot of students, or maybe some youngsters, they make tattoos of some Chinese origin. They may not know the meaning of this, and sometimes they may find it in social media or maybe in Google, the meaning of that particular design of tattoo. But here, Brunei is one place where also tattoo is very, very popular. Cambodia is one place where tattoo is quite prevalent. Japan is one place people have tattoos. Mentawai Island, New Zealand, that way Australia, Philippines, and many places. In fact, I would like to mention here, the Aborigines of Australia, they are very famous for their beautiful tattoos, and every tattoo they basically reflect something about their life. It's an expression of life. They generally do it with the help of beautiful design. And when you talk about this tattoos, it has got cultural, it has got social, it has got religious, it has got spiritual values, right? So tattoo is not something like they only decorate their body with different symbols. It has got certain things inside it. So we'll be talking about some of the tattoos of one specific tribe that is of central India. But before I get into the subject, I would like to tell you there are a lot of indigenous people in India. If you go to the northeast of India, if you go to central India, and if central India, for example, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, even you will find some of the tribes in Uttar Pradesh also. Jharkhand, you will find Assam you will find, Mizoram you will find, almost every parts of Northeast definitely you will find. The concentration of tribe in Northeast is very very high. In fact, there are some tribe in Kerala also. They are also very famous tribe, and some of this tribe they have they do have tattoos on their body parts, but all these tattoos they reflect something about their nature, about their culture, about their tradition. And that way I would like to give two examples only, not much. One tribe, that is Apatani tribes. You must be knowing. If you don't know, I'll tell you. Okay, somebody was responding to my this video. Neelu Sarmasi says many tattoo centers are here in Lucknow. I know because I was also in Delhi. There's a lot of tattoo centers are there, a lot of tattoo parlors here. Then you'll find a lot of tattoo parlors over there in malls, and in fact they are asking for huge amount of money for a small tattoo. Anyway, the Apatani tribe, the female of Apatani tribe, there's a ring on nose, that nose pin. Along with the nose pin, they make some tattoos over here, and with that particular tattoo, they would like to reflect one thing, that they belong to that particular. It's a basically identity of that they belong to tribe. So that means this is definitely an important part in the life of Apatani people. And there is another tribe, Singpho. Singpho tribe, this is basically from the northeast itself, with symbols from knees to ankle, and men do the same thing on their hands. That means it's a part of their culture, especially the girls, young girls, the boys. But maybe the places of making the tattoos are different from female to male, but tattoos are there in their life also. Even before that, talk about the Baga tribe, I would like to tell you one more thing that must be also very interesting. If you see the ladies of say UP, Bihar or northern India, they generally write the name of their husband on their hand. Do you know? You must be knowing it. What is the reason behind it? Basically, according to the old tradition, the married female, they do not take the name of their husband. So whenever somebody asks, they show that particular tattoo, they show that it is written, this is the name of my husband. That is a form of a tattoo only, because you cannot remove that particular tattoo from the skin, because it's a permanent tattoo. And when you talk about these tattoos of Central India, these are also very very permanent tattoos. And when I am talking about Central India, before I talk about this Baga tribe, I would like to tell you there's some Bhil, Gond, Bharia, Baga. They are in Central India. They generally have tattoo on their body, but not like the Baga. Baga is basically one of the primitive tribe in Central India, and making tattoo is very very essential for them, for their, according to their tradition. They need to get tattooed, but it is restricted to only female. Male Baga will never go for tattooing. It's basically part of their life. It's a part of their life. And again, I have been talking about tattoo, but what is the Indian word or maybe Hindi word or the local word for tattoo? The local word for tattoo is nothing but Godana. Godana is probably Hindi word, and it is quite popular in Central India when it comes to tribes, because they get tattoo on their body and they call it Godana. And they get their body with some beautiful designs with people from different parts. Okay, then these Baga people are generally found in Dindori, Shahdol, Anuppur and Balaghat district of Madhya Pradesh, and they are found in the Maikal extensions of Satpura region, mainly encompasses the Baga area of the Baga population with holy river Narmada. On the bank of Narmada river they are basically found. And If you talk about the population of the Bega people, it is around 3,17,549 according to the census of 1991. And sporting tattoos on all parts of the body has been a famous and distinguished feature of Bega women. These Bega women, they get their body tattooed from the childhood itself, and it's a part of their custom. And it's very, very important for a Bega women to get tattooed before marriage, because otherwise they have to pay a hefty dowry, because after she gets married to the other family, she has to get all these tattoos done on their body. And it basically reflect about the social position, rank, sex, occupation, local and ethnic identity or religious within the society. So that way, tattoo is very, very important among the people of Bega tribes. There are 6 different parts these Bega people make. One is Kapar Godai, second is Pukhura Godai. Kapar Godai is basically on the forehead, Pukhura Godai is on the back, Chhati Godai is on the chest, Pori Godai is on arms, Jang Godai is on the front side of the leg, starting from ankle to thigh, and Pachdi Godai is basically on the back side of the leg. And Kapar Godai is basically on the forehead, and the process of getting this tattoo on the forehead starts from somewhat around 8 years, from the age of 8 years of a girl. And the first tattoo they get on their forehead is basically is a V shape, and in that V shape there is a dot. That V that is known as I can show you. If you can see here, this is the forehead, and you can see there is a V shape here, and in between there is one dot. Right, this is the first tattoo made on the forehead of the women of Bega tribe. And this tattoo, and there's some, you can see some horizontal lines are also there and vertical lines are there. Horizontal lines, they are basically, it has got certain names, Adi Benda or Khada Benda. Right, these are the basically things, and 3 dots are there here also, in this side also, and they call every dot as tipka. So tipka is a word that is quite popular. Then that way, the first tattoo that is made on the forehead of a young girl, somewhere around at her age of 8 years, that is basically V shape, and there is a one say dot in between. I'll talk about what is that basically. This is basically called as Sita Rasoi. Sita Rasoi has got a very much important significance, because Sita Mata, who has been the wife of Ramchandra ji, and in her kitchen the food never ends. So a lady, Bega lady, having that particular V-shaped tattoo along with that bindi, that means that is a rasoi, and in the rasoi of that Bega lady, the food will never go end. So it is very, very important in the life of Bega tribes. They generally the female needs to have that tattoo in her early age. And then Pukhura Godai and Chhati Godai. Pukhura Godai is basically consists of symbol like Sankal, Tipka, Haldi, Gat, Machli Haddi, Adhi Benda, Khadi Benda, Bakhi, and Pukhura Godai is carried out at the age of 15 to 16. And after that, basically Chhati Godai. Chhati is basically nothing but, I'll show you a picture. Yes, you can see this. This is Chhati Godai. There are some designs here. And this is on the chest of some zigzag lines are there. Tokri is there. Tokri is a common word. It's a very popular word among them. Then Adi Benda, Khadi Benda, these are the tattoos of Bega tribes that's basically found. Chhati Godai consists of basically Kazri, Dori, Fool, Putli, and other on the chest. Nearly 3 to 4 months after the Pukhura Godai, when the back of a girl gets healed, Jang Godai is carried out, and it is done before the marriage of a Bega girl. And Jang Godai is done on the front side of the legs from the ankles to the thigh, from the ankles to the thigh, and it starts from the lower part, that means starting from ankle to thigh. And this particular design consists of machli haddi, aada benda, kheda benda, haldi ghat, diva, phuliya, kazri, jhalar, etc. I'll talk about all this design later on. I'll discuss about it. I'll show you the symbols also. And then after that, pori gudai, that is made on the hands. Starting from here to here, they make tattoos, and they're all indigenous design. These are not in modern design or maybe taken from different culture. These are basically designs of their own culture. Pori gudai consists of chakmak, chankal, machli haddi, etc. Pachi gudai, it is done on the back side of the leg from the ankle up to thigh. Pachli gudai and Jang gudai is completed the process of tattooing of the legs. I mean back side of the leg and the front side of the legs. And Jang gudai, this consists of tipka, machli, jhalar, hada benda, khada benda. These are the things that was found in Pachli gudai. And now we'll be talking about the different design that is being used in this particular process. I'll show you one by one. I have got some designs with me. I'll show you. Okay, I'll show you. If you see here, there is a bindi here. There's a bindi here that basically they call it tipka. Badin, basically the female who makes that particular design of tattoo, she makes with say iron needle or wooden needle, and that is called tipka. And when 3 tipkas are there, that means 3 dots are there, then they call a 3 tipka, or it has got certain meaning. For an example, it calls teen lok, teen devta, or maybe 3 phases of life. They signify with the help of 3 tipkas. And Adi Benda is basically horizontal lines. They use it and they denote that particular design. I'll show you. With the help of that particular design, you can see here, with the help of that particular design, they basically talk about river. River is a very important part of their life. Then Khada Benda, that means vertical lines. If you see, this is vertical lines. Basically represent tree. And then the middle part, if you can see, this is the V shape that they call it chulha. And there's a dot inside that basically signifies fire. And sankal means this is basically a something like you can see here, sankal means something like this. This is called sankal. This is basically they talk with the help. This is basically chain, which is equivalent to chains in Hindi, and it means that binding with the binding with the nature, binding with the earth, the relationship with the earth. They signifies with this, and then they go for phuliya. Phuliya basically means fool. They make a design of fool also, and you can see here this is a design of fool, right? And there is another design that we call it diva. Diva basically means sun in Bega life, and they use diva for design. And then they use some concentric circles also that they call it tokri, or sometimes they call it dowry also, D-A-U-R-A, dowry. And they make some symbols like Chandi Mata. Chandi Mata is basically nothing but a chand. Chand means that is a symbol of moon. It's a beautiful they use this symbol in their life. According to the philosophy, actually this Chandi Mata means if somebody is having a Chandi Mata here, this girds the parting of hairs. That is, that the hair will not fall they will not fall. And they make putla also. This is on the chest part. Chest part basically, putla means doll. It's talk about the human relationship, love, affection with this particular thing. And makhi is also being here. Jhalar is basically used. Jhalar is basically horizontal lines and vertical line. Horizontal lines coming from the vertical lines. This symbolizes basically the greenery, also crops, Also they talk about Pakshi. Pakshi means bird. They talk about More, Tota or something like that. They make the design of More, Tota on their body. And all this, and one more symbol is very, very famous. That symbol is called Machli Kata. Machli Kata is a very interesting symbol. It's a very interesting symbol. I would like to show you. If you see, this is Machli Kata. This is Machli Kata. That means this is fish bone, which is a very important symbol. It's a particular design of a part of Bega tribe, and they also use haldi ghat. This is basically turmeric roots. Colors also they use it, and they sometimes use 4 different types, 4 different dots to signify coldness. That they call it kalsa. Kalsa, that means. And again they go for ghas. Ghas also. Ghas means they talk about grass. With this they signify the nature, and they talk about the importance of grass for especially cows, right? You can see here, this is ghas. This is a symbol they use it, and sometimes they use it lot of dots together. Here you can see, and these are basically, with this they denote garlands or maybe something like jewelry or something like that. So in the life of a Bega women, this tattoo has got a lot of importance. And like as I told you, Sita Rasoi, this is a first tattoo made on the forehead of a woman or girl, and that signifies that the women who are having that symbol will never have any shortage of food at her place. Even Veerar Alvin, who is a very famous anthropologist, he has written a lot of books on the tribes of Central India. In fact, one book, he has written that this, with the help of these symbols, women, young girls, they lure the attention of the young boys during the time of puberty. That's why they get some kind of design on the chest part, which is very, very important. And this is nothing but a sexual provocation also, some people say. And that way, there are different designs are there. And these are basically a very important part of Bega life. And without these symbols, Bega is incomplete. Even though Bega, the number of people of Bega tribes is gradually decreasing, because most of them live in the jungles, interiors, and they do not want to come in for studies. They love to stay with nature. They have got their own life. They follow it, have been following it, and still they are in jungles of Central India. There are some, they have come down. They are now working also. The government is also supporting them a lot, but they are not forgetting their roots. They are still continuing with their beautiful Bega tattoos. So this is all about the tattoos of Bega tribes. I hope you like it. And if you have got any queries, anything you want to ask, please ask me so that I can reply back. So I can see some people are watching me, like Prabhasankar Misra ji, Krishnamani Bhagwati, I can see, Sambhu Saran Gupta, he is a good friend of mine. Sanjeev Sharma ji, I also know him. Sanjeev Bhanawat sir, good evening sir. Nice that you are online. Anybody would like to ask any question, I'll be happy to answer back and reply. I'm here. You can ask any question related to tattoos of Central India, tattoos of Bega people of Central India. Anybody? I can't see any question coming on the screen. So anyway, you can give feedback on this lecture. I am very happy that Professor Govindji Pandey sir has given me an opportunity to speak in front of the students and some learned people around, and I'll be definitely I'm definitely very glad to talk to such a good audience. And if you don't have any question, then I would like to end it here. So thank you very much. Thanks your cooperation. Thanks your participation. Thank you very much. Thank you.